Stop scrolling right now. If you moved past this message, something in your spirit is going to pull you back, because this is not random chance. This is not the algorithm deciding what you see. This is a divine appointment, an intersection of timing and readiness that was written into the fabric of your destiny before you woke up this morning. That feeling you carry, the one that sits heavy in your chest and keeps you awake when everyone else is sleeping peacefully. The persistent voice whispering that you were built for something far beyond what your current reality reflects. Do not dismiss it anymore. The resistance and warfare you have been experiencing in recent weeks, the sudden obstacles appearing from nowhere, the unusual heaviness in the atmosphere around you, the sense that invisible forces are working overtime to keep you distracted and confused. All of that is connected to one simple truth. The enemy knows what you are about to remember. And once you remember, everything changes. Before we go any further, if something in these opening lines already resonated with you, if you felt that shift, that quickening in your spirit, I want you to do something. Hit the like button right now. Not for me, not to feed some algorithm, but as an act of agreement. When you click that button, you are making a declaration to the spiritual realm that you are ready to receive what comes next. It sounds simple, but that small action creates an opening, a crack in the resistance that allows this message to land exactly where it needs to land in your soul. Now, think about what happened this week. There was a moment, maybe several, where someone tried to reduce you. They spoke over you like you were ordinary, like your words carried no weight, like your presence in the room was completely unremarkable. They questioned your judgment in front of others. They dismissed your ideas without even pretending to consider them. They interrupted you mid-sentence as if what you were saying did not deserve to be heard, and you went quiet. You absorbed it. You walked away without defending yourself, without proving your value, without fighting for your seat at the table. In that moment, you thought you were being weak. You judged yourself harshly. You replayed the conversation 100 times in your mind, rehearsing all the brilliant things you should have said, imagining how you could have put them in their place. You labeled your silence as defeat, but let me tell you what was actually happening in that moment. That quiet was not surrender. That was a king choosing not to cast pearls before swine. That was someone operating from a frequency so elevated that engaging in that battle would have required you to descend, and something deep within you, something wiser than your conscious mind, refused to come down. You did not shrink, you selected. You chose not to waste your energy on a conversation that was beneath the level you are being called to operate from. You did not find this message by accident. The algorithm did not randomly serve this to you. Something far older, far more precise than any machine intelligence orchestrated this moment. This is a divine appointment that was scheduled before time began, written into the architecture of your life before you took your first breath. You are standing at a threshold right now, and what you do with the next few minutes will determine whether you spend the next decade living at a fraction of your capacity, or whether you finally step into the fullness of what you were sent here to carry. I am going to show you exactly who you were before this incarnation. I am going to walk you through the undeniable signs that confirm your true origin, evidence that is already embedded in your current life, if you know where to look. And at the end, I am going to give you a decree, a spoken declaration that reactivates the memory your soul has been trying to surface for years. Do not leave before you hear it. Your future self, the version of you that is finally walking in the full authority of your true identity, is begging you to stay. Because if you close this now, you may spend years wandering in confusion when clarity is sitting right here waiting for you. The last few weeks have felt different, have they not? The atmosphere around you has not simply been quiet. It has been charged, heavy, like something enormous is pressing against a membrane, waiting to break through. You have been moving through your days, feeling like a stranger in your own life. Every role you play, the job title, the relationships, the responsibilities, all of it fits like a costume made for someone else. You put it on every morning and perform the part. But it never feels quite right. It never feels like you. Or maybe you woke up at 3 in the morning this week and lay in the dark with this overwhelming sense that you have lived before. Not just imagined it, not just read about it in books, but actually stood at pivotal moments in history that you cannot consciously name but somehow recognize in your bones. The reason certain ancient music breaks you open is not because you are overly sensitive, it is recognition. The reason certain places move you to tears, even though you have never been there before, is not coincidence. It is memory. Your soul knows these things because it has touched them before. You feel suspended between two versions of yourself. The one the world sees, the one you have carefully constructed to fit into acceptable boxes and meet everyone's expectations, and the one that has been waiting with infinite patience for you to finally turn around and look directly at it without flinching. And in that suspension, in that gap between who you pretend to be every single day and who you actually are when the masks come off, the enemy has been whispering a very specific, very targeted lie into your ear. He has been telling you that this feeling of being different, of being set apart, of carrying something unnamed and enormous inside you, is dangerous delusion, pure arrogance. Spiritual pride disguised as calling. He replays every single moment you tried to speak about your deeper knowing and someone laughed at you, dismissed you, made you feel foolish for believing you could sense things others could not. Every time you felt something ancient and powerful moving through you and then convinced yourself it was nothing. Just your imagination running wild, just you being dramatic again. He has been systematically, methodically building an airtight case that what you sense about yourself is arrogance masquerading as anointing, that you are ordinary, and the sooner you accept that reality and stop reaching for things beyond your station, the less pain and disappointment you will have to carry through life. That is the lie. And it is a precise, calculated, surgically targeted lie, because ordinary people never need to be convinced they are ordinary. Average people do not spend years battling an internal voice, telling them they are average. Only those who carry something genuinely real, something that poses an actual threat to the existing order and the kingdom of darkness, need to be systematically, relentlessly, exhaustively talked out of it. The volume of opposition you have been facing, the intensity of the warfare, the persistence of the attacks, none of that is random or coincidental. It is directly, precisely proportional to the size of what you are about to step into and the threat you pose when you finally do. If you are still watching, leave a comment right now. Just say the word awake, because I need to know who is truly ready for what comes next. This is not motivational content designed to make you feel good for 5 minutes and then fade. This is activation, and activation requires your participation. Let me tell you what Scripture actually says about this moment. Jeremiah 1:5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Read that again slowly and let it sink all the way in. Before the womb. Before this body, before the name your parents gave you. Before this timeline, this century, this particular incarnation. You were known, fully, completely, intimately known. You were set apart, not chosen randomly from a crowd, deliberately separated for a purpose, an assignment that was written before the foundation of the world was laid. This was not a decision God made after watching your performance and deciding you passed the test. This was established before you did a single thing right or wrong. You are not someone who became chosen through effort or achievement. You are someone who was sent, and that completely reframes everything you have experienced. The doors that closed in your face were not rejection. They were divine redirection. God blocking paths that would have limited you or destroyed you, even if they looked good from the outside. The relationships that ended, sometimes painfully and without explanation, were not evidence that you are unlovable. They were pruning. God cutting away everything that was draining life from you instead of producing fruit. The delays that frustrated you beyond measure, the waiting seasons that felt endless and pointless, were not proof that God forgot about you. They were evidence that He loved you too much to give you access to something before you were fully ready to steward it without destroying yourself or the assignment in the process. You have been calling this rejection. You have been interpreting closed doors as evidence that you are not qualified, not anointed, not chosen. But what if every single closed door was actually protection? What if God was not blocking your path but clearing it, removing everything that would have kept you playing small when you were designed for something massive? The heaviness you feel is not depression. It is not mental illness. It is what happens when a soul designed to operate at altitude gets trapped at sea level for too long. You are carrying potential energy that has not been converted yet. You are a rocket sitting on the launch pad with every system pressurized and ready. But someone convinced you that taking off is too risky, that staying grounded is the responsible choice. And the tension between what you were built for and where you are currently positioned is creating that crushing weight on your chest. But here is where most people stop. They feel the weight of the calling. They sense the enormity of what they carry. They even start to believe it might be real. And then they stand at the edge, looking out over the vastness of who they truly are, and they freeze. Not because they lack faith, not because they do not want it, but because no one ever told them what to do with the size of themselves. They spent their entire lives learning to shrink, to minimize, to make themselves smaller, so others would feel comfortable. And now they are being asked to expand, and expansion feels dangerous when your whole identity has been built on contraction. Let me tell you what nobody else will say out loud. The thing keeping you at the edge instead of stepping fully into your purpose is not the enemy's power over you. It is not external obstacles. It is your unresolved relationship with your own magnitude. You have spent so long learning to survive in spaces too small for you that shrinking became automatic. What started as protection became a prison, and that prison has a name. It is the subconscious agreement you made with a diminished version of yourself. Somewhere in your past, during your hardest season, during the time you least want to revisit in your memory, you experienced something that hurt you deeply. And in the immediate aftermath of that pain, when you were raw and bleeding and vulnerable with absolutely no defenses left, you drew a conclusion about yourself. You made a decision. A determination about your identity and your place in the world. Maybe you decided in that moment that you are too much for people to handle, too intense, too emotional, too complicated, and that people fundamentally cannot deal with the fullness of who you are. So you need to tone it down permanently, edit yourself constantly, shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never designed to contain you. Maybe you concluded you are not enough, not smart enough, not articulate enough, not educated enough, not credible enough, not experienced enough. So you should just stay quiet and let other people who seem more qualified take the lead and speak while you fade into the background. Maybe you determined in that crushing moment that your needs do not actually matter in the grand scheme of things, that asking for what you need makes you selfish or needy or weak or demanding. So you should just learn to need less, want less, expect less from others and from life. Maybe you agreed with the devastating lie that being fully visible, fully seen, fully known by others in your authentic truth is far too dangerous and risky. That exposure leads to pain, that hiding is survival, that smallness equals safety. That if you just make yourself inconspicuous enough, maybe you will finally be safe enough to exist without constantly being hurt. That decision you made, that conclusion you drew about yourself in a moment when you were too wounded and too scared to see clearly, became a belief that you carried forward. That belief calcified into an agreement, an invisible contract you signed with yourself and with the universe. And that agreement, that subconscious pact, has been running your entire life ever since, like code operating in the background of a computer program, completely unseen and unacknowledged, but absolutely determining what you will reach for, what you will settle for, what you will tolerate, what you will accept as your ceiling, what you believe you deserve to receive from life and from others. And here is the devastating truth about subconscious agreements. No matter how hard you work in your conscious mind, no matter how much effort you put in, no matter how many hours you grind and hustle and push, you keep hitting that invisible barrier and falling back down to the level of what you subconsciously, deep in the hidden places of your psyche, believe you deserve and are worthy of receiving. This is the root, not your fear, though fear is a symptom, not your past, though your past provided the context, not the people who hurt you, though they were the catalyst. The root is the agreement you made about yourself based on that experience. And until that agreement is broken, named out loud, renounced with the full weight of your authority, the ceiling stays in place. You cannot outperform a belief you hold about yourself below the level of consciousness. You can hustle past it temporarily. You can achieve incredible things in spite of it. But eventually, you will return to the level of what you subconsciously believe you are worthy of. The agreement always wins until it is shattered. Now, this message has already gone longer than most people's attention span allows. But you are still here. That tells me something about you. Your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it, even if your mind has not caught up yet. If this is landing in a deep place, if something is shifting as you listen, share this video with one person who needs to hear it. Do not wait until the end. Do it right now. Sometimes the most prophetic thing you can do is hand someone the exact word that breaks their cycle. I want you to do something. Name the agreement. Not tomorrow, when you have time to think about it. Not next week, when you are in a better headspace. Right now, pause if you need to, but identify the exact moment when the pain occurred and you made a decision about who you are. What conclusion did you draw? What lie did you accept as truth? Speak it in your mind or write it down, because you cannot break what you refuse to name. The Greek word for repentance is metanoia. It does not mean feeling guilty. It does not mean religious shame. It means a complete transformation of the mind, a fundamental shift in how you perceive yourself, God, and reality. And that is precisely what this moment is. This is not an invitation to beat yourself up. This is an invitation to remember who you were before the wound rewrote your identity. When that shift happens, when the subconscious agreement is finally, decisively broken and shattered, and your original identity, the one that existed before the wound rewrote everything, is fully restored to its rightful place, something moves in the unseen spiritual realm that no amount of human effort or willpower or hustle could ever accomplish on its own. Doors that were locked shut, not by external circumstances or bad timing, or lack of opportunity, but by internal misalignment between who you were pretending to be and who you actually are, suddenly swing wide open as if they were never locked at all. Pathways that were completely invisible to you because you were not vibrating at the frequency required to perceive them, that were always there, but hidden from view, suddenly appear right in front of you, like they materialized out of thin air. Opportunities that were always present, always available, but blocked and inaccessible because of the agreement, because of the ceiling you built over your own head, suddenly become not just accessible, but obvious, like you cannot believe you did not see them before. People who are genuinely aligned with your true assignment and calling, who carry what you need and need what you carry, who could not connect with the false, diminished version of you that was playing small and hiding, suddenly show up in your life seemingly out of nowhere. Resources, financial and otherwise, provisions that were held back because you did not subconsciously believe you were worthy of receiving them, because the agreement said you did not deserve good things, suddenly begin to flow toward you from directions and sources you never expected and could not have predicted. And none of that happens because you finally tried hard enough, or hustled long enough, or pushed through enough obstacles. It happens because you finally, at last, stopped being at war with the truth of who you actually are. You stopped fighting yourself. You aligned your conscious identity with the identity heaven has always held for you. And alignment, true, authentic alignment between your internal reality and your external presentation creates access. Alignment opens doors. Alignment unlocks provision. Misalignment creates friction and resistance and struggle. You have been living in friction for so long that you thought struggle was just how life works. But the struggle was happening because you were operating from a place of profound misalignment, trying to force a false version of yourself through doors that were designed for the real you. This is where your real life has been waiting. This is the breakthrough point. So here is what I am asking you to do tonight. Before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and speak this out loud. Not in your head where it stays theoretical. Out loud where it becomes real. Your voice carries creative power. The same God who spoke the world into existence made you in his image and gave you a voice to create with. Speak this with me. I break every agreement I made with a smaller version of myself. I renounce every label placed on me by people who could not see my assignment. I release the wounds that tried to rewrite my identity. I release the seasons I interpreted as rejection that were actually preparation. I am not behind. I am not broken. I am not ordinary. I was known before the womb. I was set apart before the body. I was sent into this life with intention and purpose. The assignment on my life is real. The anointing I carry is real. The resistance I have faced confirms the threat I pose when I walk in authority. I step out of limitation and into the fullness I was designed to carry. My delay ends here. My ceiling is shattered. My agreement with smallness is broken. I am seen. I am chosen. I am sent. And I walk forward as someone who finally remembers who they are. If you spoke that out loud, comment below with just 2 words. I remember. When you make that public declaration, something shifts in the atmosphere. You are staking your claim in front of witnesses, and that act has power in the spiritual realm. Now I want to pause and speak from my heart to those of you who felt this message land in the deepest part of your being. Creating content like this is not something I do casually. It requires hours of prayer, research, intentional spiritual warfare, and careful crafting of every word, so it penetrates precisely where it needs to go. This is ministry, and ministry that produces real transformation requires resources to continue. If this word broke a chain that has been holding you, if it shattered a lie you have believed for years, if it activated something in you that you thought was completely dead, I want to invite you to partner with this work. There is a link in the description where you can support this ministry. I am not asking you to give what you do not have. But if this message fed you, if it shifted something fundamental in your spirit, would you consider sowing into the continuation of this, reaching others who desperately need it but cannot access it otherwise? Here is what I know about the spiritual principle of sowing and reaping. When you give to what is producing life in you, you create a channel for provision to flow back into your own life. Not because you are buying God's favor, but because you are aligning with the law of circulation. Stagnant water becomes toxic. Flowing water brings life. Your generosity keeps the river moving, and that river will return to you in forms you might not predict, but will absolutely recognize as divine provision when it arrives. Whether you give financially or not, the truth remains the same. You were brought to this message for a reason. This is a divine appointment. You are standing at a fork in the road right now. One path leads back to the familiar, the comfortable, the small life you have been managing. The other path leads into the unknown, the expansion, the large life you were actually sent here to live. Most people choose the familiar path, not because it is better, but because it is known. But you are not most people. If you were, you would have left in the first 30 seconds. Your future self, the version of you 6 months from now who is walking in the fullness of this breakthrough, is thanking you for staying until the end. They are grateful you were courageous enough to name the lie and bold enough to declare the truth. So here is my final word. Do not let this moment evaporate. Anchor it. Speak that decree every morning for the next 7 days. Write it down. Record yourself saying it. Let your voice break the atmosphere before you start your day. Because repetition is not about convincing God. It is about reprogramming the subconscious mind that has been running on old agreements for too long. Share this video with someone who is stuck at the edge of their purpose. Tag them in the comments. Send them the link directly. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is carry the word someone else, is one revelation away from needing. If you have not already, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Not for my sake, but because your spirit needs consistent access to truth that transforms instead of content that just entertains. The messages that come through this platform are not random. They are strategically crafted, warfare-tested, breakthrough-activated words designed to shift the trajectory of your life. Leave a comment right now. Tell me what broke open in you. Tell me what you are walking away from. Tell me what you are stepping into. Your testimony is not just for you. It becomes a roadmap for someone else, reading these comments, trying to decide if this is real or just more hype. Your freedom gives other people permission to pursue theirs. I am standing in faith with you right now. I believe doors are opening that have been sealed too long. I believe clarity is coming. That ends the confusion. I believe relationships are aligning that match your frequency. I believe resources are being released that will finance the assignment. I believe the exhaustion is lifting and supernatural energy is filling that space. I believe joy is returning that the enemy tried to kill. I believe you are about to see the faithfulness of God in ways that leave you speechless. You are not ordinary. You never were. You were never meant to be. And the season of pretending otherwise ends right here. Right now, in this moment, walk forward as someone who finally knows who they are. The world has been waiting for the real you to show up. Bless you. I will see you in the next message.